to the Theme Park Duo podcast. Grab your severed heart monster friends and hop in line as we take you on a creepy tour of some of the best haunts around. Now, here are your scary hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another spooky episode of the Theme Park Duo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
And I'm your other host, Gabriel, and we're here to share with you another awesome event that we were lucky enough to attend.
Yeah, this week we're talking all about Queen Mary's Dark Harbor.
Ooh! I do that because the ship is really haunted.
That's your really haunted sound?
Yeah, as opposed to not really haunted, which is ooh.
I'm glad I know the difference now.
Well, just because, just in case, you're really haunted, you might hear that noise.
Oh, okay.
You never know.
Yeah, you're helping millions right now.
I am. They should be paying me for my services.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You're not like a ghost buster, you're like a ghost informer.
The ghost informer. just to let you know there is one, but I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's like those commercials where it's like the doctor tells you what's wrong, but he can't fix you.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. But anyways, yes, we're talking about Queen Mary's Dark Harbor today. Plenty of stuff going on there. Actually, one of our favorite haunts to hit just because of the history with the ship and its characters and actually how darn scary it can be.
It's just so much fun. The event as a whole is just so fun and alive and exciting, and it's a small area, so it really is another type of event where anywhere you go, someone's creeping up behind you, someone's gonna scare you. You know, it's super cool.
Yeah. It can get pretty intense at times, but it's always so much fun. But before we get to that, we have our Park Peeves segment of the show where we talk about a lot of annoying things that happen at theme parks that we really, really don't enjoy. And we thought it'd be perfect to have a special Halloween edition of Park Peeves. Please, no flash pictures. Please, no running. Keep moving down the walkway, please.
Welcome to Park Peeves.
There's so many times throughout the night of our experiences that we encounter less than appropriate behavior and less than adequate things in general.
I got where you're trying to go with that. You just didn't quite get there.
No, I didn't.
Let me set it up for you.
Okay.
These are Halloween events. They're haunt events. They are, by their nature, dark events, right?
Yes.
Yes?
That is a perfect way of setting that up. Yes, there is thematic lighting for a reason. And for those who decide to pull out their phone and turn on their flashlight or try to take pictures with flash on, shut them off!
If you have been in Fog Alley this year, you have heard, turn off your lights!
Lights off, guys!
Turn off your lights!
Lights off, guys! Lights off! And they just have to come up with them with a flashlight to tell them to turn it off.
We've seen it across all of the different events we've gone to. It doesn't matter. If there's a dark place where someone has the possibility of scaring you, some idiot is going to turn on their flashlight on their phone. And now every idiot in the world has a flashlight just on them at all times. And
then inevitably, when you have that flashlight, they put it up on a monster's face. It's like, come on, guys.
It's rude. You're blinding these actors who have to perform well and have good depth perception in the dark.
Depth perception is important.
Yes, especially when you're sliding. And so it's just it's rude, it's disrespectful to the scare actors that are working. It's obnoxious to other guests, and it is completely useless. It doesn't help you at all.
It makes it worse when you're in the fog anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't help anything. So please, 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 everyone out there, turn off your flashlights.
Turn them off, or I will turn them off for you. Which either means I will literally grab your phone and turn it off and hand it back to you, or I'll grab it and smash it.
You won't do either of those things.
I'm gonna wreck it.
You're just gonna yell, turn off your lights, like everybody else.
I'm gonna smash your phone, bro. I'm gonna bro out on them and just like turn my hat backwards and smash it over anything that's close, which may just be on like my leg
or the
something. Or the floor.
Yeah.
Floor is much harder than my leg. Thank you for that suggestion. Moving forward, out of Park Peeves, let's talk everything Queen Mary's Dark Harbor. This event is rather impressive. For its small footprint, it offers so much and really makes it feel like it's a much bigger event than it really is.
Yeah.
You know, it really does compete with the Knott's Scary Farm and the Universal Halloween Horror Nights, and I actually think that in some ways it does beat them, especially when it comes to the entertainment, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
One thing I really love about Queen Mary is this opening moment they have. It's fantastic, and they really get you accustomed to their main characters that they have.
Because that is one thing that is... Yeah, and yes, I know, like, the Green Witch is the icon of Knott's, but she is kind of, like, petered out over the last few years. You know, they're not really using her in promotions and things like that. So really, if you think about all of the haunt events around, the one with the biggest icons, the most memorable characters that come back year after year after year is Dark Harbor. You have the Captain, you have the Ringmaster, you have Scary Mary, you know, you have the chef now. You have
Samuel the Savage, Graceful Gale, the Ringmaster, Iron Master.
They keep adding more.
Yeah, the Voodoo Priestess. There's just so many of them.
But like
they're all memorable.
Yeah, but like top 3, I'd say, are like
Ringmaster's up there.
Ringmaster, Captain, and maybe
Ringmaster,
a tie between
Captain,
like Graceful Gale and Scary Mary.
I would put Scary Mary above Graceful Gale to me,
too.
because Graceful Gale doesn't do anything.
Yeah, Scary Mary is more memorable. So
yes.
And I just love that. I love that they have memorable characters that interact with you and talk with you and joke with you and just...
Some guy next to us got called a dingleberry.
Yeah.
Because he was wearing brown pants. So that's the kind of humor that you're in for when you come to Dark Harbor.
So at the opening, above the gates, there's this walkway where the Captain basically starts off the event. The Ringmaster joins in. I think a few other characters join in, like the chef. The chef
was up there. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, and so he does this spiel. It's the same every year, but I never get tired of it. You know, he goes, "Are you ready?" You know,
and he makes everybody kind of like scream, like, "Are you ready?" And we're ready.
And then once we have yelled sufficiently, he goes to the other side of the doors and he says, "Monsters, are you ready?"
He goes, "Monsters, do you want them to come in?"
And then they bang on the door and they scream, and it just gets everyone waiting there, like knowing what's on the other side of that door, and it's so exciting.
It's very exciting. And then finally, when they open those doors, they all run at you and you run at them. It's a very, very fun opening moment. It's very reminiscent of Scary Farms, where they run at you and run at them.
Yeah.
But I feel like this...
It builds up the tension.
A bit more, as opposed to Knott's, which is just kind of a different feeling. It's very much like a ominous, cool moment, as opposed to this tension-filled moment.
But also...
Because it's badass seeing those guys walk out of the fog at Scary Farm.
But realistically... We were, 5 people back? We couldn't see a darn thing.
Yeah, you can't see it.
So, I think the Dark Harbor opening little ceremony caters to more people. More people can see it. More people get to experience it. Whereas I was 5 people back. I'm short. I couldn't see a single thing. And I was kind of peeved the last time I was at Knott's. I turned to you, Gabe, and I was like... Next time, front row or nothing for opening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you're sitting there in a crowd, standing in a crowd for an hour... And you don't get a payoff at the end, except, you're first in line for a maze or 2.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So after that show that you see at the opening of the event, you go into the event itself. Mm-hmm. And this year, as opposed to a lot of different years, the layout has changed significantly. And that's mainly because of the lack of use of the dome.
Yeah.
Apparently they're using it for some other stuff and other things are going on, so they just weren't able to utilize it this year. So Intrepid and Circus, 2 of the mazes that were in the dome last year, got moved out. So they had to move some things around and make things work, get rid of some things. But they did still find room to add more bars.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the layout is really different this year. The Sinister Swings were off in the back corner again, or now.
Yeah, they were in a different spot.
They were almost like dead center as you walked in.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, which that is a really cool image to walk in and see it kind of going in front of the Queen Mary itself, because you have a great backdrop of the Queen Mary anyway.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but I guess you do get kind of like a nice view of the Queen Mary now. Like, without the Sinister Swings right there in front of you, you get like this big view of the ship, which she really is like the center stage. You know, that's what we're here for.
Definitely. Like where the Sinister Swings used to...
Sinister Strings. Watch out for them. They tie in knots and they never let go.
Where the Sinister Swings used to be, there's the stage now, and there were different acts there throughout the night, and there was like park benches around it, which I appreciated the seating, and then the circus maze was directly behind that. And so there was a magician up there at one point. The fire acts were up there. I'm not sure what else was up there.
There's quite a few other things. By the way, I just comprehended the fact that you're wearing mini ears.
I've been wearing them for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I did not realize till just now. I'm like, oh wait, I've been staring at those this entire time.
I have a big collection of mini ears, and sometimes I just like to wear them around the apartment. What's wrong?
That's not weird. Moving forward, the layout this year, I'm not a fan of, to be honest. It just feels very disjointed. Nothing really feels like there's some type of like rhythm and flow to it. It just like everything's kind of thrown in a way.
I have one theory.
What?
For the way the layout is, it caters to the people who bought the cabanas.
Definitely caters to people because those are elevated.
The one thing I did like this year, and I would have liked even more if I had a cabana, was the placement of the cabanas. So the cabanas were kind of right smack dab down the middle. It forced everyone to walk around them, which was a little inconvenient for us normal folk. But
us normies.
But the cabanas were raised. They had exits on both sides, so you can go to whatever side you wanted. So that was very nice for the people who did purchase the cabanas, and I did like where they were this year. And then on the other side of the cabanas was the Sinister Swings. It was the entrances to 3 mazes.
No,
just
two of the mazes.
Yeah,
Dead
it was
Rise
Dead
and
Rise
Feast.
and Feast. And Intrepid was where Voodoo used to be.
Yes.
And then they had a bar and a lot of food vendors and one more stage there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it was really kind of moved around. I wish it was back to the way it was, but I understand because they've had to move the mazes out of the dome. They don't have as much space to utilize this year, which is completely fine. I mean, it's not horribly different. I just prefer the other layout as opposed to what it is now.
Yeah.
Enough with the layout. Let's get to one of the biggest things that I alluded to earlier, the entertainment. Queen Mary has so much entertainment, and for me, beats out almost every other event we've been to.
I'd have to agree.
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah,
like even oh my god.
You could walk around all night, not do a single maze, and still find yourself entertained all night.
There's different entertainment Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and then different entertainment on Friday and Saturday. So when you get the maps, they're just filled with acts, and you have the main stage, the aerial stage, the big top stage, the close-up tent, slider alley, and the entry. So those are all areas where you could catch different things throughout the night.
Yeah.
And we definitely caught some aerial acts as well as fire breathers and stuff like that. We'll talk about it a little later on, but we happened to catch the side view of some marionettes and things.
Yes.
Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the mazes.
Yeah. So what should we start with?
Let's just go on the list. There is, in the map that they have a list of mazes along with a map showing you where to go and how to find each maze. So we'll just go down the list of them and share our opinions of them. First one up is Lullaby, and I think this was my favorite of this season.
Me too. I agree with you 100%.
The scares in this were so good, and they did a really good job of figuring out how to attack you from different levels. You'll get a shaker can at the foot. She'll come up from above. She'll be hiding behind a wall. It really felt like she was just everywhere.
She was everywhere.
Which is the most terrifying part, because you know that she's somewhere in there, many of her.
Yeah.
And you can't get away. And what I love about Scary Mary as a character is she's very interactive. She loves talking to you, and there's plenty of points throughout the maze where she'll just walk beside you and say the creepiest crap.
Yeah.
Which really sets a tone.
Yeah, she's super chatty. And I think it says a lot that this maze has been around for years now, and it's our favorite still. You know, it just shows how good it is and how they keep changing it up enough year after year to make it really awesome. Like, they changed the layout a little bit this year. If I had to say one thing about it, is they need a new opening.
I 100% completely agree. And the last few years they've had this opening with a priest, and the dialogue has somewhat changed over the years. You know, before it was almost like this eulogy, and this year it kind of turned into almost like him explaining the story of who Mary is, and you see her dead body, and then you enter her world through this small door that you have to like crouch into that's shaped like a coffin. And in years past, the priest has become real sinister and scary. This year, he was kind of just like, good luck, bye.
Yeah. Also, we kind of went through this at the end of the night, and all his makeup had sweated off.
Yeah, it had significantly sweated off.
If there's one thing to say about the ship mazes, is they're a teeny bit humid.
Feels like Florida in there.
It was also a hot night when we went.
It was a rather toasty night, but yeah. I mean, regardless of any of that, the maze was extremely entertaining, very scary. There was definitely one moment that made me do like the scared dance.
Where you, like,
almost
turn around in circles.
I did like the tippy toe thing because I didn't like it. It just really caught me off guard. I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't want to spoil it, but it was a moment that I did not like the sound that was coming from behind me, and I kind of tiptoed, ran away. So it was definitely the only maze that made me do that throughout the night, but it was definitely on the top of our list. Such a fun maze, such a fun character. Oh, and not to even mention, like, I forgot to mention it, but you walk by the pool, which is supposedly the most haunted place on the ship. And there supposedly is a vortex there. That is why. Originally you used to walk above it, and now you walk right beside it.
Yeah, like level.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And they have a pretty good scare over there too, if you're not paying attention. And one thing I did notice, and the reason why they're probably not using the second tier is because of the new maze using a different pathway.
Yep.
So we'll get to that a little bit later, and I'll explain what I'm trying to say. But thumbs up for us. Lullabies continues to be strong, and I really don't hope this goes anywhere. I hope they change it up.
Yeah.
And keep it going.
Yeah, me too. Up next is B340.
B340 is something that's been there for quite a while as well. Another one that they've tinkered with over the years, and significantly this year. And again, I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was up to par as close to Lullaby, but I think it was just as good.
I liked B340 the first year. I wasn't too much of a fan of it the second year, and I don't know if we're on the third year yet.
I'm pretty sure we're in the third or fourth year.
Well, whatever
B340.
Whatever year we're on, I liked it as much as I did the first year.
Well, that's good. That's saying a lot
because of the things they added and the things they took away. It felt fresh and very exciting to walk through it.
This maze is much more cerebral than most of the mazes they have here.
Yes.
It's very much more abstract in ways. Because you're almost walking through the mind of a madman, as opposed to, oh, Scary Mary's out to get you. Oh, Graceful Gale's trying to make a soulmate. There's almost like this premise to those. This isn't really a premise. Yeah. It is, you're going insane. Mm-hmm. Which I enjoy because it gives a very different flavor to the attraction. But once again, the ship just lends itself to creating incredibly scary environments. And one thing we didn't mention with Lullaby, but it goes across all of the mazes on the ship, is that the team at Queen Mary don't really play soundtracks for their mazes, on the ship at least. Unlike Scary Farm or Halloween Horror Nights, where they have like this music and specialized sounds that kind of go with the environment that you're in, for Queen Mary, they really just emphasize how quiet it is at moments, or they'll use very specific sound effects of dripping water to really make you aware of how empty and vast the area that you are in and how, quote, alone you really are.
Yeah. It really, like, it's something you don't notice, but you feel, kind of.
Yeah, because, like, when you're hearing those sound effects, they seem to be in place. Like, that's what it should sound like. And it's really off-putting at times, because you'll be faced with this long, dark hallway with a light at the very end, like another lit room, very, very dimly lit. But there's no noise.
Yeah.
There should be noise. There should be, like, anything. And there's just these very, very faint noises. And that is really unnerving. And it makes you really nervous. And there are a couple really good scares in this maze that utilize that tension that is builds from the lack of noise. And that's one thing that Queen Mary does fantastic that not a lot of other mazes, other places do.
Yeah.
Is play with how quiet something is as opposed to how loud or how intense something sounds.
Yeah. No, it's subtle and it's wonderful.
Exactly. And B340 is another one that I don't want to go anywhere. I'd love to see them continue to tinker with it and change it. This was my favorite last year. Obviously, it's changed this year, but it doesn't take anything away from it. I think it's fantastic. One thing that I have noticed on the mazes as a whole for the Queen Mary is that they don't necessarily have a storyline. They always have like it's not necessarily a premise, but they have just an idea.
An overarching theme.
An overarching theme. It's never a storyline,
Yeah.
which I think works in their benefit because of how cerebral something like this could be, or how simple something like Lullaby could be. Because you don't need to have all these props and sets and cover up your ship. You just need to get the idea across of what it is so that the ship is there and then you have multiple smaller sets to get the idea across of what it is.
Yeah.
So, B340, thumbs up from us.
Yeah.
Next one up on our list is Soulmate, another maze that's on the ship. Fantastic all around for me. I feel like it may have lost a little bit from last year, and that may just be because we're used to it. I don't know.
I definitely think it's not its strongest year.
It's still good, and that's the problem. It's
Yeah.
just we know what it can be.
Yeah.
And it's been so good in years past. Really good. Like almost at the top of the maze list.
Definitely for the first few years that it was there.
Yeah, and knowing that it could be so good and then having a year where it's kind of faltered sucks.
Yeah, there were parts I liked, but overall I kind of left wanting just a little bit more. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it kind of felt... I know what you mean, and it's hard to put your finger on it. Mm-hmm. I feel like there wasn't a ton of talent in there. I think that may be part of it. With that being said, I do think that they came up with some very inventive scares that were very misleading and a lot of misdirection.
Yes.
That kind of helped really change the feel of it and made it unique across the board from any of the other mazes on the ship.
Yes,
which is nice.
there is one scare in particular that I know what you're talking about, that I did really appreciate that one, and it was probably one of my favorite, like, even though I didn't like the maze that much this year, it was one of my favorite moments of the night where this one particular woman used her set to her advantage. Let me just put it that way.
Very much so. So it's always entertaining to go through that, and this is one of the mazes for me that's one of the most disturbing. Just the visuals that you have in there, but it is also very, very fun. What I like about this maze a lot is kind of the progression of Graceful Gale. Like when you approach for the first time, you see her, she's hopeful and young and beautiful, and she's ready to go and full of life. And as you progress through the maze, you see what she turns into, which is really sad.
Yeah.
And also one really cool thing about this maze is that you get to see the giant propeller of the Queen Mary.
Oh my gosh, there were so many people who just stopped there.
Take pictures of it. The thing is fantastic to look at, and there's plenty of coins sitting on it because people toss their coins off.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's part of the ship you don't usually get to see, so that's really neat.
Exactly, and you go through like a boiler room and stuff. That's pretty fantastic when you have to walk through that alone. And you definitely got us.
I do. Okay, I liked that scare too. The more we're talking about it, the more parts I did really enjoy.
Well, it's because everything on the ship for us ranges anywhere from good to great.
Yeah.
Good to amazing.
Yeah, nothing's
actually.
bad.
Nothing is bad on the ship, at least for us. We'll get to the ones that we didn't quite like later.
That's foreshadowing.
Ooh, foreshadowing and foreboding.
Ooh. Okay, moving on to the next maze. It's the last one on the ship, and it's the one new maze for this year.
Feast. Starring Chef.
Yeah.
I wanted to try to say it kind of like a sitcom.
He's the strong silent type.
He is the strong silent type. He very much is. And like Nikki said, this is the brand new maze, the fourth on the ship, and we're supposedly exploring different parts of the ship that we as guests have never been able to reach for Dark Harbor before. And the reason why I earlier said that we weren't able to see the pool scene from the second tier in Lullaby was because Feast takes us through the original exit of Lullaby, and we go through certain corridors over there, which I don't think it would allow us to use that second level anymore.
Yeah.
So, which kind of sucks, but it's still awesome because they utilize a lot of other corridors in Feast that are pretty great. Mm-hmm. One of them for me in particular was a very long hallway and somebody with like a serving cart, and he was walking really slow down the hallway towards us. And he just picks up speed and just runs at us with that thing. And the noise it makes is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it really caught us off guard. And once he went past us, we're like, okay, we're good. And we hear the noise again coming from behind us. And we had to like move out of the way because we're so scared that we're going to get hit.
It was definitely one of my favorite parts of that maze.
As a brand new maze for this year, I think they did a pretty good job. I just don't think it was firing on all cylinders when we went through, and we did go through twice. Yeah. We enjoyed it. We thought it was fun. There was just some moments that we found really odd and some weird choices. One of them being these stairs that we have to go up and down, but they are almost like right in the middle of the part of the Queensberry where guests are in the hotel room. So like sometimes you'd see people peeking over into this area and not really knowing what's going on or wanting to see what's going on. And I even listened to Parks and Cons, and by the way, shout out to Parks and Cons, they're fantastic. I know that they said that at one point they actually saw people from the hotel come into the maze by accident. Scary had to escort them out.
Yeah, it's a part of the ship that maybe just isn't as secluded as the others. Because, I mean, I'm sure adding a fourth maze to the ship really kind of limited where they could go, so maybe they did have to venture into populated territories, which was unfortunate, because I definitely did when we were walking up the stairs. They just had like a sheet, basically, separating one side of the stairs from the normal use side of the stairs, and I definitely saw a head just like, hey, what's going on over there?
Yeah, and it kind of takes you out of the moment.
A little bit. Also, they need a separate way for their staff to go, because definitely also in that maze the first time we went through, I saw a worker on her break eating a sandwich down the opposite end of the hallway.
You did?
Yeah.
When?
It was after Tarp Peaker, and it was just a little bit farther on, and she like was walking down another set of stairs eating a sandwich, and then she ducked behind a curtain. But it's like they should have their own separate...
no, mayonnaise, I'm scared of mayonnaise.
They should have their own separate way to go, so people walking through the mazes don't see that.
Yeah, that would probably be a really good thing.
But hey, it was Feast, and she was eating.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Stay within the theme. I love it.
I have to say, for this maze, it's just the... for like something called Feast, where it's like the chefs are the ones, doing the haunting, maybe it just felt like it needed to be more in like the utility part of the ship, like maybe make it look more like a kitchen or something.
Well, we went through a kitchen.
They did have a kitchen part, but then it was like, it didn't look like a kitchen.
Well, there's only so much you can do within the confines of the ship, and that's something that does need to be addressed, because like we said, there isn't necessarily a storyline, but there's an overall theme, and if they stayed to that, because also like the ship is historic, there's only so much they could do. It's not like they can nail something into the wall too, that's why everything that they have is like a freestanding set that they could just put in there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the Feast is on the level that's like for normal use, really. So there's carpeting, there's wood paneled walls, and I feel like for the whole kitchen vibe to really work, maybe it needed to be in an area of the ship that was more like Lullaby, where it was more like utility, and the metal walls. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I just think I disagree a little bit because I really enjoyed the scene that they did with the kitchen. That scene that they did, I actually found it really funny.
Oh, it was great. I loved it too. I just feel like the setting was a little weird.
It felt like an operating kitchen. Like they were all yelling at each other. Like, why would they order that? That's stupid. And then like the bus boys just started yelling at each other because of the order and all this stuff. I found the talent in that room fantastic. And I didn't necessarily feel the need that it needed something a bit more solidified as a kitchen, because that scene worked, as well as the fact that they did a pretty good job with scaring people too, through the like racks of plates and half-eaten food and eyeballs and all this gross stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we just disagree on that. But overall, I think they did a pretty good job of getting the idea across of what it is. There is this section of the maze that as soon as we saw it, we were like, that's not going to last long at all. And you have to crawl and then get into an oven and then crawl out of the oven. And the idea of going through an oven, super cool. Freaking love it. But there's no need and no reason to have us crawl.
Yeah.
There's no addition to anything. It's not like they're scaring us while we're crawling. We just crawled to crawl.
Yeah.
And there's no padding. It's just wood.
It's rough. And in our group, there was a couple crawling in front of me, and the guy stopped, and the girl turned around so that he could take a picture of her in the tunnel. And I had to yell at them, like, keep going, there's a lot of people behind you. So just user error among a lot of different things. It's just, I don't think it'll last long.
No, I don't think so either. But I did like going through there with you in front of me because I kept poking your butt.
You did.
A lot.
You did.
To the point where you were mad at me.
I was more mad at the people taking selfies in front of us.
Good, I was going to keep poking your butt anyway. The oven scene is cool. I just don't think it was necessary to make it crawling. Crawling isn't scary. It would have been much better if you had it like a walk-in oven that's glowing red and then having like burnt bodies in there and they jump out and scare you.
You know, it would have been like really cool. Like never would have happened in a million years. But you know, like those old kid like play zones where they have the like a ball pit, but they have rollers.
Yeah.
That you have to like slide down.
Oh, you would have to go across that?
Like if you're on a tray, you know, and then you have to like they like roll you into the oven, kind of like a pizza oven.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. Well, actually, I wouldn't count that out simply because they do have a ball pit.
Yeah.
One of the mazes. So operationally, yes, that would cause a huge issue, but that does sound awesome.
It sounds really fun.
Queen Mary, if you're listening, it's a pretty good idea.
roller, like.
I know, I get it.
Food trays and rollers.
I know, I get it.
Okay.
It's like we're at IKEA. And we just roll the stuff on them.
Yeah.
I hate IKEA. Moving on. In that same maze, there was a moment that we had with the guy who played Chef. Mm-hmm. He actually watched into the maze as we went into the maze. And there was a scene where there was some dead bodies hanging around. And we happened to catch him. He like popped out right there. And one of the dead bodies was a woman's torso with boobs just out there, just boobs. And I was like, ooh, boobies. And he looked at me, and then he looked at the boobies, and with his like cleaver, he turned the body around.
For modesty's sake.
For modesty's sake, and I couldn't see the boobies, and he just stared at me. But I could see like on his face, he was holding back a laugh.
Yeah.
And me and you just busted out laughing.
It was so funny.
It was really, really funny. And I feel like those kinds of moments makes up for other moments in the maze and stuff like that.
Overall, I'm not sure what quite the sticking point is with me. It's like I liked it, but I didn't love it. Maybe it just felt a little disjointed. Like I got the flow, I got, the gist, but something just felt like not quite flowy enough for me. Also,
I feel like the scares weren't as inventive as any of the other mazes. Yeah. I could easily pinpoint, one or two or three different unique scares that were not copied in any of the mazes, at least through Lullaby, B340, and Soulmate. I can't say that about Feast.
Which one had your worst scare of the night?
It was Feast.
It was Feast. So they had that.
They did have the worst scare of the night. Actually, the worst scare of the season so far.
Yeah.
So in Feast, there's like a freezer portion.
Don't give too much away.
Well, I mean, there's only so much I could say with just saying them.
Just say it's the freezer portion.
Okay, the freezer portion gave me the worst scare of my life in any haunt, really. Like, I don't think I've ever, like, made a noise like that before. I know that you knew it was serious because of the tone of voice I used.
Yeah.
It was very different. It wasn't just a normal, oh, crap, that's scary. It was like a from the bowels of my gut scream. And that was pretty intense, but it was awesome. Like, I couldn't stop laughing because I couldn't believe I got that scared.
You were, like, so happy that you got that scared.
Because it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
For somebody who's, like, a seasoned veteran of haunts, there's not a lot that really, truly scares you. You may still get startled. You may still get, jumpy, but nothing truly scares you. There's only been a few handful of moments in my life where that's actually happened, and this was one of them, and if not one of the best, just because of my reaction.
Yeah, it was so genuine. It was wonderful.
And the other one was when my niece gave out at Scary Farm.
And you took me down with you.
Yes, I took you down with me.
Because we were holding hands.
Exactly.
Okay, let's leave the ship. We have discussed all the mazes on the ship.
Are we just jumping in the water and swimming away?
If you're swimming towards the sunken ship that is Dead Rise, yes.
I love you.
Because I took the bait.
Yes, you did.
So yes, the next maze we are going to talk about, and no, it is not in the water, is Dead Rise.
You have to swim through the maze.
Well, a part you do.
Technically, yes, a little bit.
No, you don't. You just there might be.
They give you water wingies.
There is a warning that you may get wet.
Is there a warning?
I don't know.
There is no warning.
This is your warning.
A warning from us. This is
your warning. You probably will get wet on Dead Rise.
You just have to time it right.
And there's a really funny story that goes along with that for us personally.
Yes, there is a very funny one.
But Dead Rise, if you've been to this event before, you've been through Dead Rise, they change it up every year slightly with the layout, which I think is fantastic because it makes it fresh every year. For us personally this year, it was very, very, very understaffed.
Very understaffed, and that caused a big problem for us.
Yeah.
Because there was years in the past where, you can't go 15, 30 feet without running into another monster. And it really felt like the ship had gone down and they're trying to take you down with it.
Yeah.
And that was really intense. And now it just feels like a labyrinth of boxes and fences. And the maze wasn't ever my favorite in the past, and I'm not going to lie.
There was one year you loved it.
There was one year I absolutely loved it, but there was other years that I absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just simply because of the way it's designed, and I just wasn't a fan. But, I've come to love the way that they've designed that maze. And to see it understaffed was such a disservice to it because I actually really enjoyed what they did this year.
Yeah. No, it was
from a maze design standpoint.
Yeah.
I think what they did was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that it was understaffed.
Yeah, that was the one hiccup with it. And I don't like getting wet. So just the fact that there's at 2 points in the maze there is a big splash. And I'm not sure if it's someone back there like pressing the button.
It used to be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It used to be.
The monster showed it to me last year.
Yeah.
He was pressing it. And then this year it just seemed automatic because it was it seemed like systematic.
Yeah, I'm not sure what if it probably is just on a timer this year, but it goes off every few seconds and it's a big splash.
Yeah, and the only reason why it gets it twice is because you go on either side of it.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's two of those things.
Yeah, but there is a good chunk of time because it's like you go right next to it and then it weaves you around this really roundabout way until you get back to it again. So there is a good chunk of time in between the two splashes.
Yeah. And what really sucks more about it being understaffed is this is probably the longest maze that they have.
And
it is long.
You felt it this year. You halfway through you're like, dang, I want to be out already because there's nothing scaring you.
Which sucks.
Yeah. So
well, there was something scaring other people.
Yeah. The water. So there was this group in front of us. It was like 4 or 5 people, and there was this one girl. Her hair was done very nice. She She looked all pretty. And there was not even the big splash. There was just another splash, not very far into the maze. And she's like, oh, there's water in this maze? And me and Gabe had already been through it. So we're like, yeah,
she literally
she put her heel,
shoved me.
She dug her heels into the ground. She did not take another step further. And then she's like, do you get wet? And we're like, yeah, you get splashed. Like, it's pretty likely you're gonna get wet. And she's like, oh, hell no, I'll die. And then she just booked it backwards.
She pushed me out of the way and just ran into the fog in the maze.
She left her friends behind.
We literally didn't see her even at the, like, she went all the way back to the entrance of the maze.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. She was at the last portion of it, so if she'd just gone past that, she would have been fine.
No, she would have gotten wet.
No, as in, like, if she had gotten past that point.
Yeah.
Because she didn't get it the first time. Because she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So,
oh, man.
It was ridiculous.
So
a memorable moment.
Yeah.
And then also one big downer for me about this maze is its exit was one of the best things about the maze.
Yeah.
In years past. And I felt like it just was never filled with enough fog.
Yeah, there were times when it was. I just think it wasn't as consistent with keeping it filled with fog.
Yeah.
I mean, they still had the scare actors there, in their usual spots, scaring people. But it just didn't seem as effective this year for some reason. Maybe it was just opening night hiccups.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of the issues that we're bringing up with regards to, like, scare actors and certain things like that could very well change.
You could have a completely different experience than we did. But we just have to, give the review based on what we experienced the night we went.
There's a very good chance we'll go back. So maybe we'll address that later. But at least this is what we've experienced. And maybe things will change. That happens with every haunt. The hiccups and the mistakes and things like that get worked out throughout the month of the event. So that's good to know and good to keep in mind when hearing criticisms of the event.
Yeah.
And to just be knowledgeable of it. The next thing that we have up is Circus. I think Circus is the one that felt the biggest brunt of its move from the dome to outside.
Yeah, it definitely suffered.
It suffered greatly, and they got rid of that sideshow freak show thing that they used to have that was like an upcharge experience, which was fantastic. But because they moved Circus out, they didn't have room for it anymore, so it seemed like they mixed and combined Circus with the sideshow freak show thing, and it didn't seem like the best of the two.
No, it just seemed like Circus lost its grandeur for sure. It just seemed like really like compacted, and they cut out a lot of the best parts, and everything just felt a little bit like cramped, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely felt cramped because I know that Circus felt very big before.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things going on. It also felt understaffed for sure. They kept the ballroom, which is fantastic, but that whole opening scene for us at least didn't play out the way it should have.
Yeah, it wasn't choose your own way anymore. Like the kind of trick.
Well, like the doors were there.
Yeah, but they just had the one curtain pulled away to
clearly
the ball pit.
Open. Yeah,
and then the other way for people that didn't want to use the ball pit. So that was your only option. It was very clear. It wasn't like, oh, what if I go this way? It was like, no, this is the way you go. And the ball pit just kind of it probably wasn't shorter, but it seemed smaller.
They weren't different colors, I'll tell you that.
No, they were not different color balls anymore. But it just felt a little awkward.
They were all blue balls.
They were? Weren't they gray? Oh,
I
you're
have no
making
idea.
a joke.
Yes, I was making a joke.
Yeah, they're gray balls. That's even worse than blue balls. If you have gray balls, you should seek medical attention.
They've fallen off.
Oh no,
that's not good.
Oh no,
hope you didn't want kids.
Well, anyway, back to the maze, and then after that, you kind of go into the freak show area where it's like little alcoves where you see different sideshow creatures,
bearded ladies, some bull girl or something. I don't know. There's a few different things.
Yeah.
And this was one of the mazes that had a secret bar in it, which we forgot to mention with Feast. Feast was the other one that had a bar in it, but it wasn't so secret. It literally
was like the first room you walked into.
It was like the first room.
And then you had the option to buy like a shot or something, and then you just keep on going if you wanted. So it was a little weird. I mean, I'm sure people like going into it probably thought, just the way it was set up, probably thought it was just another, like, set. I bet they didn't realize it was a real bar.
Except there's a menu.
Yeah, true. But you kind of need that secret, like, exclusive kind of feel to it to make it really feel like a bar. Because otherwise you're just sitting there, chugging a drink while people are walking by.
Yeah, which is a bit odd.
Yeah.
And I think Circus pulled off the secret bar thing much better.
It did.
Because I'm not going to spoil how you get into it or anything. I'll just say be very, very nice to Zoltar when you meet Zoltar. Mm-hmm. But I feel like what they did with it made it so... Because, like, my first reaction to hearing that news was, man, is it going to be just, like, packed full of people wanting to drink instead of a maze? And that's just going to cause an operational nightmare. But what they did was really, really smart and allows for a minimal amount of people to go in.
Yeah.
So I think that's fantastic. And I really enjoyed it. And we bought shots from there.
We did, because we had to. We made it in.
Yeah, why not? We were special.
At that time, we were in kind of a spur-of-the-moment group of 4, and the other 2 didn't get in.
Yeah, they just kind of walked off.
And then Zoltar was like, you two, go.
So that definitely made the maze still fun, and there was different aspects that they've kept from it, but overall I think it definitely suffered from the move for the worse.
Yeah.
Which stinks, because Circus was definitely one of the ones that has the most character to it.
Yeah.
And it seemed to just suffer. So, moving forward from Circus, we're moving to Intrepid. And Intrepid is the maze that, for me, gained the most character from last year.
Yeah.
And for me, is better by leaps and bounds. Because last year was such a letdown. There was cool pieces, but it just felt like a hodgepodge of scenes and moments not really feeling cohesive and in a maze. And this one felt like there was almost this flow with what was going on. It made a lot more sense to us.
Yeah, last year was kind of just a whole bunch of great ideas and grand, like, sets and things that just didn't pan out when you actually put them into practice. And
exactly.
It was a little disappointing because it had so much promise. And I really, I was excited about the theme last year. But this year they took it, they kind of fine-tuned it, they gave it a different direction. And I think it really helped.
It definitely helped. And there was some stuff that we lost from last year, but for it getting better, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind at all. And you kind of go to, like, instead of it just being like the construction of the Queen Mary, you're almost transported to Scotland, and all these different warriors for the Iron Master are dressed in kilts and really creepy makeup. You end up in these catacombs and this forested area. It's almost like the train dropped you off there that you see at the very entrance of the attraction itself.
At one point, like, you can hear the train, like, through the trees and stuff. It's super cool.
It's very, very cool. And we definitely got some good scares in there, for sure. And it's really obvious that they recycled the sets from Voodoo years back.
Yeah, but I didn't mind too much.
No, because it fit for us. Yeah. And it didn't stand out so bad. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it was obvious to us because we've gone year after year. But if you haven't been before, you're going to love it.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much, like, the Scottish Moors it looked like. But
I don't think it looked like anything like the Scottish Moors, to be honest.
Suspend disbelief and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And they had a really, really cool room that I haven't seen done anywhere before.
Yeah.
It was a room... Well, they did it during the party, during Midsummer Scream, in like a very small version of it. Maybe they were testing it out.
Yeah.
But they filled the room with fog, and it was just low-lying fog, and then lasers. So the lasers cut on top of the fog, and the monsters were underneath it. So it looked like they were swimming, coming out of the fog and swimming in the fog.
They looked like seaweed dolphins.
Yeah, it was very unnerving because you didn't know where they're coming from or where they were until they popped up out of the fog, which was fantastic.
It was great. Like, I had so much fun in that room.
No, it was like it kind of didn't want to leave. Like, it was really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it was really fun. So yeah, Intrepid gets a A for most improved maze this year.
Definitely. Very, very much improved.
Yeah.
And that wraps up all of the mazes that are here at Queen Mary. On top of that, there are a couple upcharge things. You could do the Panic 4D experience, which they've had last year. It's a theater experience, sights, smells, sounds, all that kind of stuff. And then they have the RIP Lounge, where you could have drinks and kind of hang out and have a nice overview of the entire event. And then also buy tickets for the Sinister Swings, which is essentially just like Carnival Swings, which is fantastic.
Yes. And let's not forget about the ice bar. I forgot what it was called. The Meat
Locker.
Yeah.
So that was another upcharge experience, which we should talk about all of the bars in general.
Yes, we should.
But the Meat Locker was the main upcharge experience for bars.
Yeah. And it was a vodka tasting room, and it was one of those like kind of Sub-Zero bars, where you have to put on a big parka, and it was genuinely cold in there.
It was 7 degrees,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, so not Sub-Zero, but almost.
No. And most of the bar was made of ice. The area in which they kept the vodka bottles was made of ice.
It was really cool that they had the props in the ice,
dead bodies
severed limbs
in there
and stuff.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. And we were lucky enough to be given some drink tickets because of the media night, and we thought of using it on that, especially because of how special the experience was.
Yeah.
And we were not informed of this, but the pours, because it's a vodka tasting, were half-ounce pours, which isn't that much, but when you add up five half-ounce pours, at least that's a little bit more than you're expecting.
Or it should be in theory.
It should be in theory. The only issue that we really had with it was the fact that each bartender wasn't necessarily being consistent with what the pours were. We saw one of the bartenders that wasn't helping us pour over a half shot and closer to full shots, as opposed to ours, which was less than half shots, which even at a moment she took the shot away from me and poured it back in the bottle.
Yeah, she poured.
Bad form.
She poured your drink, and you were like reaching for it, and she realized, oops, I overpoured, and so she took it back and poured it back into the bottle.
That is bad form.
Yeah, you realize you're mistaken, you just let it go. You let them have a little bit more, but just the fact that if it was consistent, if every one of the pourers was pouring the same amount, you'd be like, okay, that's just how it is, but for the group right next to you to be getting so much more than you, and you both paid the same price, it's really, really disappointing. So
we didn't pay anything.
No, but if we had, that's what I'm saying.
Had $36 for both of us. It's $18
a person is the ticket price.
And that's what you have to pay before you even go in.
Yeah, so it's all I ask is, because it is a fun experience. You're paying for the tasting and for the experience, and they have some fun flavors in there. To be honest, they have like Fruit Loops and orange,
chocolate,
and chocolate and cotton candy and popcorn flavored vodka. So it's overall, I think it's a fun experience. I think the price point is a little high, and all I would ask for is consistency with the pours, because it can lead to very disgruntled customers.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing this come back at a lower price point.
Even $15 would be better.
Yeah, $15.
18 seems so just rough.
With what you're getting, it should be 10, to be honest.
It should be.
$10 is what it should be. And at $10, I wouldn't be complaining. Because at $10, you're having a fun and new experience. And it's an okay amount of alcohol, because you're not getting a mixed drink, you're getting a tasting flight.
Yeah, but all of them added up together, I don't think it was even a full shot. So you're paying $10 for a full shot and an experience, basically, if it was $10.
I mean, let's face it, you're paying for the experience.
You are, yeah.
Which that experience to me is not worth $18.
But I just think it needs to be better advertised that you're not going to go in there and get a whole drink.
Yeah, I think that was the letdown, because we used our drink tickets on it, and we were expecting to get a little bit more until we got in there.
Yeah.
And when she poured it, I was like, oh no. Because I was really disappointed, because we could have easily have gotten a beer and gotten much more to drink. And it's not even necessarily about getting more to drink or getting messed up or anything.
It's getting your money's worth.
It's getting your money's worth in value.
Yeah.
And for people who are coming here and wanting to get a drink, I don't think they want to get upset and see that they're barely getting anything.
And it's not well publicized out front that it's a very skimpy tasting flight.
Yes, extremely skimpy tasting flight. So I think that's where they need to improve on it, but I do think the experience is very fun and extremely unique, because no other haunt has that.
Yeah.
So I would love, like I said, I'd love to see it stay and just have them change up the price so that it matches the experience as well as the amount of alcohol that you're truly getting.
Yeah.
So the meat lockers, interesting for sure. And the other bars that they've had at the event in general, it seems like it's increased year after year after year. And I don't know anybody who's been to Queen Mary and said, you know what this event needs? More bars.
I will have to say, though, that the lines for the bars weren't too bad because there were so many of them. So,
but it was also opening night, and the night was just kind of thin in general.
Yeah, but if I could say that there was any plus to more bars, is shorter lines.
True.
Over.
Very much shorter lines, for sure. But I did feel like the bars took a front seat to the mazes this year a little bit.
I think, yeah, a little bit.
I mean, there were upgrades to the mazes, which is fantastic. But there was a lot of moments where I was thinking to myself, I'd rather have 6 more scare actors in this maze and 3 less bars.
Yeah.
Because you have fantastic mazes and wonderful maze design and things like Dead Rise, but you do yourself such a disservice by understaffing it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather see the money going to pay those scare actors than it is to pay a bartender.
I did like the bar and circus, though. That can
No, the
stay.
bar and circus is fantastic. I think that's unique and different and fun. That goes into the maze, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Is that it goes into the maze. The one in Feast needs to be a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that was somewhere else within the maze, like in the kitchen or something, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But it was just at the very beginning. Then they have queue mazes, the secret bars, themed bars, regular bars, the last drop, which is a clever name. I don't know. I think you have enough places to get alcohol.
Yeah.
I just don't think it needs to have that many, and I'd rather see that money be allocated somewhere else.
Yeah. That's a valid point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just me thinking this, but it almost feels like they are trying to gauge and change the clientele that really comes to Dark Harbor.
Just make it a little older.
Yeah, they're aging it up, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't care if that's their goal because I'm of age to drink and I don't really care.
Yeah.
But it just seems like that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
I mean, like, it's not like a place that you could bring, like, at Knott's you'll end up seeing, like, 13-year-olds or something like that.
I saw a 3-year-old the last time.
It's a 3-year-old last time. We don't see 13-year-olds at Queen Mary. Very rarely. Very rarely do we see kids under 21
well,
there.
there were, okay, to be fair, there were a lot of kids the night we were there, but that's because it was, like, celebrity night also.
Yeah, no, that's a bit different. But, I mean, like, even other nights that we've gone to Queen Mary in years past,
yeah,
you don't see that many people underage.
Yes, that is true.
It's a very different atmosphere, and that's fine with me. I don't care. Mm-hmm. It just seems like that's what's going on.
Yeah, but if that's your thing, if you're listening to our show and you love the idea, of, like...
Getting scared, getting a drink.
Yeah, of, like, a haunt where you can go through a maze and then go grab a beer. It's kind of easy at Knott's to do that. Not so easy at Halloween Horror Nights, So,
excuse me, sir. Let me walk you across from the truck to Moe's.
Yeah, and wait in a 20-minute line just to get ID checked. So, it's like...
If you want short lines for beer and you want to get scared, this is the place for you.
And you want a more carnival atmosphere, then Dark Harbor is your thing. And I think it is such a party. It's such a fun time,
It's definitely a good time.
So, like, we love it so much. And it is right up there in our top... haunt events for the season.
For me, it's right under Knott's. Like,
yeah.
I'm a huge Scary Farm fan. I mean, I have a freaking tattoo on my leg, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
For Scary Farm. But Dark Harbor's right underneath because of its incredibly fun atmosphere, like you said. It's more adult atmosphere. It's characters and it's monsters.
Yeah, let's just say the airbrush makeup is superb on the actors.
We think they're fantastic.
It's like beautiful. It's like the best... Like
2D makeup.
It's the best 2D makeup I think out of any of them. Like some haunts are good at prosthetics. Some haunts are good at a mix of like prosthetics and masks and makeup. But there's not too many prosthetics. Aside from like the captain has like sea junk all over his face. But like and the
sea junk.
Yeah,
that is a technical term.
But other than like things to enhance, it's all pretty much 2D airbrush, and it is fantastic.
Exactly. So I 100% agree. For me, I think this year, although it's had some missteps, is still an incredibly strong and fun year.
Yes, I think so too. I'd have to agree. We're even considering going back for another night.
Well, it's because like I was listening to another podcast talk about it before we record ours, and I'm like, oh man, that sounds like fun. Oh wait, I've already been. I want to go again.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy it. I want to have a good time. I want to go on the mazes. They're just fantastic. And it is something that is worth multiple visits in our minds. One big thing that happened over the course of opening night, which for me doesn't necessarily always count within the opening night jitters, is operations. And there was a lot of operational issues that happened throughout the night.
Yeah,
and
lack of communication.
I bring this up way later after our official review because it is in a different kind of category. It didn't necessarily obstruct from our enjoyment, but it could be a problem, and it was a problem for other people.
Just less
just not us personally.
Staff. Well, I mean, even like something that I thought of after we were talking about this was I cut my toe that night. Totally my own fault. I wore sandals.
Oh, I completely forgot about this.
And
completely.
So we walked up to a worker. Excuse me, where's your first aid booth? She just very confidently told me that, oh, we don't have a first aid booth. We have roaming people with a first aid kit.
So you have to find somebody with a walkie-talkie and then have them walkie-talkie first aid. It's like a freaking scavenger hunt. It's like, how do you see somebody with a freaking walkie-talkie when it's half covered in thematic lighting and fog?
But that wasn't even true. Like,
no,
and she was
wasn't.
So confident in the way she told me. And I don't know who told her that. I don't know if she was just trying to blow me off because she didn't know and she just wanted to sound
But
good.
if that's true, then that's such a bad thing to say. What if somebody had like a significant issue?
So then, like, not 5 minutes later, we walk up to another worker. Excuse me. Where's your first aid booth? Oh, let me look that up for you.
He grabbed the map and he pointed at it.
But at least he looked it up on the map. At least he was like, okay, it's right here. Walk that way. And, we thanked him and we went to the first aid booth and I got a Band-Aid. But it was just like the uninformedness of the staff. People telling you A, then other people telling you B, and just a lack of... And just with our... This isn't a problem for like the general public, but we were there as press and we have friends who were told different things about
our press badge,
the press accessibility of the mazes, and they were saying we didn't have unlimited front of the line and then other mazes we did. It was just the lack of communication was pretty bad that night.
Yeah, and then on our way out, for us at least, there's always this huge massive crowd that leaves all at the same time, which is any place, and I completely understand that. But when you have dedicated staff to, controlling traffic and controlling those crowds, you would expect them to do their frickin' job. And when we're going up to the exit, trying to get out... In our car, we're driving, and we're sitting there for a good 5 to 10 minutes waiting for him to stop the crowd so we can move. He's not doing it, so I inevitably take it into my own hands to start going.
There was a lull,
so I go, and then the guy puts his hand up to me while I'm driving, and does like this really rude gesture of like, "Aren't you watching?" Like he points at his eyes and points at everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, "Aren't you watching? There's people." And I basically just ignored the guy because I'm not gonna roll down my window and yell at him. But it's like you're not even helping me get out. You're not doing your job, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it upon myself to leave. And I was doing it in a very, very safe manner. So I don't feel like I should be reprimanded for that.
Yeah, he wasn't directing traffic at all.
No, he was just standing there talking to the other guy.
So just for him to turn around and get mad for someone trying to leave was just a little uncalled for.
It left a sour taste in my mouth when I left.
Yeah, it was like our last experience of the whole event was just, being reprimanded for something that wasn't even our fault. So
exactly. And... for me, when it comes to those operational issues...
But that one was first night. It's like...
For me, these things don't fall under the first night jitters.
Like, they should train the people who work in the parking lot on what to do.
It should be very, very simple because, Queen Mary has been running this event for so many years. And there are inevitably people who have been there throughout those years and know the issues and problems and bumps and things that happen throughout the season that they could easily warn new staff about and say, okay, this is your job. This is how you do it. these are the issues that arise. Look out for this. This is how you fix them.
Yeah.
And that's not that hard to do. And yes, throughout the season, this will get better and there won't be issues and things like that. But it should already be good to go at the beginning for me. Like, if you're training people correctly.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not huge, but if it's at the beginning or the end, it could really either start your day off really poorly or leave a sour taste in your mouth, which you don't want, especially because of how good the event is. The event is so freaking good that it would stink to really put like this terrible sour cherry on the top of an awesome ice cream sundae. It's like, why would you do that? You know, so for me, that it was a little bit more annoying because of that reason, because it's so good.
Yeah.
That you're doing a disservice to everything.
Yeah.
Which really stinks. And then also with the event, the parking situation is significantly different this year. The parking at the Queen Mary, the actual parking lot next to the ship, is considered to be premier parking, or what would it be?
Well, the sign just said
preferred parking.
Yeah, the sign just said general parking.
Yeah, the sign says general parking, but the website says otherwise. It says preferred parking is the parking by the ship, which is $40 now. Oof. Which is weird because like preferred parking $40. Okay, that makes sense. But then the sign says general parking, which is $40, which blew us away. Like, we were like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Because Queen Mary really does a really good job of giving discounts and, you know, low ticket prices, you know, and probably one of the lower price tickets in town for something like this.
Yeah.
And then only to be had with this $40 parking fee when you arrive if you don't look at the website. And
it's a little rough.
Yeah, it's a little rough. And over the past week or so, they've added a lot more things to the website to help alleviate parking issues, because it has always been a small issue. So now you can park over at the aquarium and take a bus.
That's around $15.
Yeah, and there's a few other different options. So if you go over to Queen Mary's website, you can look at all of those options that are cheaper pricing for parking than it is to just park at the Queen Mary.
Yeah, because $40 is a pretty heavy price to pay.
It's very steep. But I mean, like, if you're with a group of 4 people, that's $10 each.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, considering, well, like, that's if you carpool. If you're if you're coming from separate places, you know, then that's, oh man, like.
Well, there's a tip in and out of itself, is that if you're going with a group of people, carpool.
Because then you can pay park in the aquarium.
Well, carpool, and then if you all want to chip in for that $40, then you don't have to park far away and take a bus. And then it's much cheaper on everybody. It's not like one person's paying $40 or 4 separate people are paying $40.
Or if you carpool, park at the aquarium, each person pays $3, and then you can go buy a beer.
To me, that $7 is worth parking closer without having to take a bus. Although apparently the bus is a frickin' party.
Apparently there's like fog machines and strobe lights in the bus. So if you want a rave on your way to the event, go in the bus.
There's no E on this bus. There's no E on this bus rave. Is the name of the bus Rave?
I don't know.
It might be. I lied.
Anyway,
it's probably not.
You just know that you have options. If you want to park very close and fork over $40, you have that choice. And also there's lots of other cheaper choices that I'm grateful that they also offer, because they could just be jerks and say $40, you're out of luck. There's no other place to park around here, because it's in the harbor. There is no other place to park, you know. So.
I'll park in the water. I'll just swim over.
And then you're all soggy, though. That's not nice.
Well, it's fine. I fit in perfectly. I'll just say Dead Rise got me really bad. Nobody knows the difference.
True.
So, but, you know, with all of those small little nitpicky things that really come with the event, we love it so much. We always try to bring new people to this event because it's so unique and so different than most of the things out there, and we love it so much. So if you're thinking about heading out to Queen Mary this year, make sure you do not miss this event. It has so many strong mazes and so many fun different things you can do, and it's a great place to grab a drink with your friends too if you all happen to be there at the same time.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that. And if you don't want to wait in lines, they offer front of line tickets, as well as, like I mentioned before, they have an RIP lounge where you could wait up there and have drinks and relax and have a really pretty amazing view of the entire event. And just don't get scared because there's a big fire blast that happens like right over there, and it like shook me a couple times. I wasn't expecting it, trying to eat my tacos.
Yeah.
It's like tacos. It was scaring me. So don't get scared of that. But the event is awesome. I can't gush about it enough. So make sure you go check it out.
Yeah.
So, but that brings us to the end of our Queen Mary's Dark Harbor 2017 review. We hope you enjoyed it. If there's any pictures that you would like to see of the event, make sure to head over to themeparkduo.com to check out our visiting pictures as well as our written review, where you can see a lot more information about what our experiences were in the mazes, as well as, like I said, those pictures.
Yeah, awesome pictures. Gabe, you took really good pictures.
It's really freaking hard to take those pictures.
Well,
really hard.
You did a good job.
Well, thank you. It's like taking 1,000 pictures and only 100 of them are good. It's just hoping and praying to the picture gods that something happens. That's good.
Well, then you got lucky.
Yay, picture gods. May the picture god shine down upon me with great grace and many blessings.
Okay.
What? I just want good pictures. Can't blame me for that.
I feel like you're going to start like dancing and chanting to the picture gods.
No dancing and chanting here, thank you very much.
Okay.
No dancing and chanting.
Maybe next year.
I promise. But if you're dancing and chanting because you enjoyed our show, you could always leave us a 5-star. I didn't have any other way of getting into that.
Hey, it worked.
It totally worked.
Yeah.
So if you guys enjoy the show a lot, make sure you head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star written review and help us kind of come up in the standings and make it easier for people to find our show and enjoy it like you are right now.
Yeah.
Now, Nikki, where can people follow us?
You can find us everywhere online at Theme Park Duo. So Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, absolutely everywhere.
Exactly. And if you want to email us, you can email us at themeparkduo@gmail.com. Now, most importantly, Nikki, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at NikkiM_313.
Exactly. And you can follow me at Laker793 on Twitter. And above all, everybody, most importantly, always remember, there's always a great big beautiful... Jesus Christ!
What happened?
The book fell off the shelf on the desk.
You scared a rat.
That was really odd and scary.
Yeah.
We're okay. Something just fell off of our shelf that was rather odd.
Were you playing with the Ouija board again?
I wasn't messing with the Ouija board again. After the first time and hearing noises in this room and stuff, I wasn't messing with it ever again.
Well, something's going on.
I'm not enjoying that. But anyway, let's end the show before anything else weird happens. I'd rather take care of this off air. Okay, back to it, guys. Remember, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. See ya.